Hi everyone, this is Glenn Fleury from Board Games and Bourbon, and today I want to talk to you about a game called Moogh, and this is probably my favorite card in Moogh. Let's see if you can see that. Besides, yeah, that's right, picking your nose. My wife asked me if that was a self-portrait, but it is not. Now, what do you do in Moogh? Moogh is a print and play, probably half an hour to play. In this game, you are 4 cavemen trying to kill a woolly mammoth. You're in 2 sets of teams, and you're competing with each other to be the most successful, so that by the time the game ends, you have the most victory points. How do you get these victory points? You are going to have a little board. I'll try to turn it so the light doesn't catch it. I do have my shiny protectors on. You have this little board, and you guys are going to be, I guess it should be like this actually. You guys are going to be the outskirts of the board. 1 for each color. That's green, that's red, that's something else, that's black, and you're out there, okay? And in the center of this, you're going to have a woolly mammoth. Now, the woolly mammoth is represented by a die. I like to use casino die. It's really cool. Okay, now, this goes in the center. Each of you are going to use another die that represents your color, and connected to your people, to your men on the board, you're going to have individual characters that have options on what to do. Okay, 4 of them. And what's going to happen with these 4 characters is you're going to choose, you put another marker. Me, I'm using Pandemic Legacy markers, and you put them where this orange is in the center, and that lets you do the 2 actions. You can either walk and walk, or this, that, those 2 things. You can basically attack, scare, jump on the back, attack from far, attack from close, walk around. Those are all your options. And as you're doing this, if you get an attack, this little thing over here tells you how many points you get for an attack. And then you have another little marker. And the marker goes on the center. And if you get a point, it goes here. If they get a point, it shifts back. And it's kind of a back and forth game. The woolly mammoth itself, although on the board is represented by a die, actually has its own little marker card. And it tells you, like, if you roll the die, it tells you where it attacks and what kind of damage it does and what kind of modifiers this has. It also has a rage card, and what this means is these are all symbols indicating something that the woolly mammoth does. And if you have a rage of 1, you're up here, and if you have a rage of 2, it goes down here. So every time there's an attempted attack on the woolly mammoth, it goes down. Every turn that there's not an attack on the woolly mammoth, it goes back up, and it becomes more forgiving. As you go down, it does more and more things in a turn. Okay, now, thoughts about the game. If this was as a print and play game, fantastic. There's only 9 cards in a total, 9 beautifully designed cards. As a print and play, I'd give it a 8 or 9 out of 10. If it was a production game, I would give it a 7 out of 10, which I think is very, very good. As a print and play, it says it can go from 2 to 5 people. 2 and 4 would be on a teams of 2 each. 3 and 5 involves like tracking the mammoth. 3 and 5, the odd counts are not really fun for that odd man out. So the game is really 2 or 4 people. And honestly, print and plays, just because of the build quality, it's not something you're going to break out a lot. So I don't think 4 is really going to work. But it's just for you and a bud, or you and your wife, or something like that, hanging out, and it's just to fill up a night. I think it's good for 2 people. The gameplay is rather involved. Let's see if I have it. It has 7 pages of instructions. I have so many print and plays over here. Let's see which one. So, you're going to have all these pages of instruction. So it's rather involved for a print and play. Okay, rather involved. You're also going to have, let's see if I can find it. You're going to have a page telling you what all the symbols mean of what you could do as a caveman. Then you're going to have a reference chart of everything you can do as a woolly mammoth. And so you're going to keep these 2 reference cards out. You're going to have to, as the woolly mammoth moves around the board, because the woolly mammoth also can move, like if one of your tactics is to scare a woolly mammoth, he turns and tries to exit off the board and might face the opponent. So you have to adjust your dice, and then you have to orient this so you know where the injuries land. So there's some symbols you got to track, orientation you're keeping aware of. You have to keep track of die modifiers. You're also going to have to provide a handful of tokens yourself. What do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 things yourself. It's not that big of a deal to play the game. So you want to get your little Ziploc bag of power to keep it all together. Now, this game is at the upper limits of what I would want to invest into a game in terms of time and components and all this. There's not too many print and plays that I want to, have to referring back to charts and stuff like this. The cards are only 9 cards, so that's not a big deal. And often when I get a print play, I'm not looking to play for too long. They're usually, I play them as filler games, And I guess half an hour, 45 minutes is considered filler. But I mean like super filler games, really in and out kind of deals. But with that being said, this game has better artwork. Also, you can take 1 injury, and then then you're on this side. And if you get 2 injuries, you're out of the game because the woolly mammoth can also injure you. But man, look at that art on those cards, man. This game has better artwork and design than like probably 35-40% of the games I've actually paid a lot of money for. The artwork is amazing. The game is very thematic. It is a little bit of tracking on the charts, but that's fine. That's what it is. This gets really good reviews and gets hailed as a really great print and play, and for good reason. So, Moogh is the name of this game. Let me show you how it's spelled. There's even like Moogh. The game has really good marks. I think you'll enjoy it. I totally think it's worth your time. My over-under on what you'll do is you'll probably play it a dozen times. You'll probably play it a dozen times, like 6 times, and then you'll put it away, and then kind of like most print and plays, you forget about it or something, and then you'll break it out occasionally. But I think this one definitely has legs. It's not the super filler you might expect, but certainly a good game to check out. Very well done. Boy, I'd be really proud if I was the person who made this game. So check that out, Moogh. Okay, thanks guys. Talk to you soon.